Yes, guys. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to SAP SD Real Time course. So, as part of this, we will be covering certain real time aspects of the SAP SD and also the support aspects in real projects. So, this is the content copy which we are going to deal. As part of this course, and here if you see here, we have several areas for discussion. Among these, uh, there are there are certain things which can be shown in the system, but there are few other things which are discussed as per our understanding. So that means you will get only understanding of those concepts. Okay. Yep. So here to start with, we have introduction to SAP projects, where in this topic we are going to talk about different kinds of SAP projects you deal when you enter into an organization as a consultant. So then we have something called ticketing tools here. Apart from SAP applications, you will be using several tools to manage your day-to-day activities in the project. So if it is a support project, you mostly will be using these ticketing tools. So we will discuss about popular ticketing tools in this section. Then and also the ticketing process. Let's say if there is an error uh, in the business, let's say an end user is creating a sales order and he got an error at the time of saving the document. So it should be routed to the IT team to fix it right. So there will be a procedure to create a ticket, and we will explain it in step by step process. That is what your ticketing process. And there should be other aspects of tickets issues like status updates, priorities and criticalities, SLAs. These kind of um, I mean aspects will be discussed as part of this ticketing process. Then also we will be discussing about 10 tickets, 10 real-time tickets, which will help you to manage in your interviews. So the most common question in interview would be, tell me the critical ticket you handled recently. So you can pick one of these tickets which we um, discuss here, then you can, whatever your convenience. So when you feel one ticket is very familiar to you, then you can pick this and say that as an example for your critical ticket in your interviews. So the focus here is, I mean, to get to learn all the aspects to crack the interview. Okay. Yeah. So that is what we are going to talk about in this 10 tickets. Okay. Then we have next topic called ASAP methodology. This is a old concept, but still we need to know about this because this is the core methodology for implementation projects. So when ECC start, I mean, when ECC was so popular, ECC 6, right, Enterprise Central Component 6, that is the most successful version of SAP. So along with that, SAP has come up with a methodology, a easy way to implement projects. That is what your SAP methodology. That means when you take a software development, it will have a life cycle, software development life cycle, SDLC. But here, since this is not called as software development, this is implementation, because SAP is a predefined ERP application. It is a ready to use ERP application. So there won't be any development as such, but you may go for development when there is a requirement. So that is the reason you cannot uh, use standard SDLC for implementation of SAP SAP projects. You will be using SAP methodology for that. So we will talk about all these steps in SAP methodology. There are 5 steps starting from project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, go live and support. So we will be discussing about each step in this topic. Okay. Then, so these are the main components of your real-time course content, but there are other components, other topics which are very, very important. So you know what is R3 architecture? So we will be walking through uh, again on this topic. Then system landscape, the arrangement of the systems. Yes, development system, quality system, production system. Yeah. So that is your system landscape. We will be uh, discussing about this landscape again. Then we have introduction to tables, ABAP tables, which your standard tables where your data is stored once you um, save a transaction, right? That is ABAP tables. We will discuss in detail. So you might be knowing about ABAP tables. I would have given you a little introduction at the time of sales order processing or master data, but here in this topic we are going to learn in detail about this ABAP tables. Then we have something called cutover strategies. Cutover strategies is nothing but the strategy to cut the old system. So you have a old system in place and you are going to migrate into SAP. So how you migrate data from old system to new system when you are going to uh, stop the old system. Yeah. So these kind of strategies are framed before going live. I mean, before starting business in new system. That is what your cutover strategy. Okay. Then you have functional and technical specifications. So when you have a code change, let's say the SAP solution which is already available is not, uh, you know, serving your purpose. Let's say you have something which is not available in SAP system now. In that case, you go for development code change. So how to handle the code change? That is what your functional and technical specifications. Then we will also discuss about change request and business requirements. You know what is change request? When there is a need of change, business will give you a change request. I mean, business requirement. They'll give you a business requirement. Then based on this business requirement, we as IT team will create a change request. For this change request, we create a functional specification and technical specification. So these two topics are discussed together. Okay. Then transportation process. So transportation process, is meant for transporting changes from one server to other server. So you know that whenever we save something in customization menu, we will get a pop-up display. So this pop-up is transport request, TR, we call it as TR, correct? So TR is used to transport your changes from development system to quality system or from development system to production system. So we talk about this transportation process in this topic. Then there is something called client dependent and client independent. So client is a number in a SAP system. You would have observed at the time of logging into SAP system, you would have observed a number called 800. So that is called your client. SAP server can have multiple clients. So in our demo system, you are going to log in into client 800, that is demo server. So like this, if you have an instance, let's say if you have a server, SAP server, depending on business requirement, you can split, partition this SAP server into multiple clients. So when you have multiple clients in SAP server, there are changes which are client dependent and client independent. Let's say you're creating a new sales organization. So this is client dependent. If you have clients like 100, 200 and 300, when you do a change, let's say when you create a new sales organization in client 100, this sales org will be available only in client 100. This change or this update cannot be reflected in 200 or 300 client. That is what your client dependent change. For suppose if you create an access sequence v/07, this is not a client dependent object. This will create copies of the same change. Let's say you're going to create a new access sequence in client 100, then along with client 100 system, I mean your change, whenever you save the object, let's say access sequence, it will also update in other clients which are available in the system. So this is what your client independent object. So this is required because you need to know when you change something, where and all it is getting updated. Okay. Then the next topic is ABAP query. So ABAP query is nothing but the report. So when you have certain standard reports in SAP system like VA05, VL60, VF05, okay, VL10B, VL10A. So these all are standard reports provided already in SAP system to be used by business. But there are limitations when you are using these standard reports. Maybe if you take VA05 report, VA05 is used to get open orders, I mean sales orders, the list of sales orders based on the, I mean, selection criteria. It is not serving your purpose. Let's say you wanted to know a sales report for 1 year, for 2020. So you need a sales report for 2020, starting from January to December 31st, 2020. So your VS05 will not have all the fields which you require. In this case, what you're going to do, so you can use tables, VBAP and VBAK and VBAP, but you won't get required information in single table. You may have to join VBAP, VBAK and VBAP tables. You learn about this joining in this ABAP query. Okay, it will be an easy thing, but you need to focus on that. That's okay. Then we will see data transfer using interfaces. As part of this, we will talk about flat files and IDOCs. Okay, then there is a tool called LSMW for mass uploading. Let's say you have 1,000 customers in legacy system, old system. You implemented SAP now, and you wanted to load all these 1,000 customers into new system, SAP system. So creating I mean, customer master records for these 1,000 customers using XT01 is almost impossible, right? It takes a lot of time. So what you do now, you prepare a sheet with all required fields for customer master data, and you run LSMW so that it creates customer master numbers for all your 1,000 customers. Maybe it may take less than half an hour or 45 minutes to create customer master records for all these 100 customer numbers in the SAP system. Then we'll also see batch job processing here. Batch job is nothing but schedules, job schedules. So for an example, billing. So you create sales orders and deliveries throughout the day, but billing you don't have to create manually. So what do? You schedule a job at the night. So this job will pick all the open deliveries which are relevant for, which are pending for billing as on that date. Let's say I'm scheduling a job today night. So it picks all the deliveries to be billed for today and it bills at the end of the day. Okay. So we'll see how to set up a batch job, how to use a program and how to create a variant as part of this batch job processing. Okay. Then introduction to SAP standard programs. As everyone knows, every transaction is backed by a program, SAP program. We will see what are the important programs to be remembered and how to process them if required manually. Okay. Then we have user exits. So user exit is something uh, which is used in development. So user exit is uh, a gap. I can say a gap in the program where you can insert your own code. So if you take a standard program, sales order creation program, uh, what is the sales order creation program? It is SAP MV45A. If you take this program, SAP would have provided several places where you can add your own code. Let's say you may need an extra option in sales order for your client's requirement. In that case, you cannot go and change the standard program here and there. SAP will not allow you to change programs as you like. Keeping the keeping the required changes in mind. So SAP has provided gaps in the form of user exits. That means user can insert, customer can insert his own code in that gap in this user exits. Then you can run this logic along with SAP MV45A program at the time of creation of sales orders. So that is what user exits. So user exits, functional specifications, technical specifications, change request, and business requirements. These will be covered as one topic. Though the terms are different, these all are interlinked. Okay, we have to learn them together. Okay, in fact, everything has to be learned together, but we will go in a sequence. Okay, now, so coming to the first topic, first chapter, introduction to SAP projects. So uh, when you get into a company as a consultant, most of the times you will be handling a rollout project or a support project or a development project. I can say, yeah, development or enhancement project. So we will talk about this. Okay. Yeah. So implementations means fresh implementations. Let's say when you get into a project, so your client has not used SAP yet. That means he is using a legacy system. So for us SAP consultants, whatever non-SAP application is a third-party application, and legacy system means the old system. Let's say my client was using Oracle earlier, now he is migrating into SAP. So that is going to be a fresh implementation project for me because I am going to start from the scratch. That means I'll fully study how how my client is running business now, which application he is using. Okay, um, we will prepare notes for this instead of discussion. If I put some keywords in paper, then you can easily understand it. Yeah. Okay. So implementation projects. See, you call a project as implementation project when you are doing implementation from scratch. That means your client never used SAP system. Now you are using, you are mapping SAP to his business. So how do you map or how do you gather requirements here? So in this case, you have something called requirement gathering. Requirement gathering. Requirement gathering is nothing but understanding the client's business. Understanding the business process. So how do you understand client's business process? Yeah. Let's say you're a consultant now. Gopi is a consultant. He got selected for a company and he was placed into an implementation project. So when you say implementation project, you should remember ASAP methodology. But nowadays nobody is using ASAP methodology. There are many methodologies, but since we are talking about ECC, so more or less we follow the same ASAP methodology process only. Maybe you may call the methodology as different with different name, but the steps will be same. First thing is project preparation. When okay, so we will since SAP implementation projects follow SAP methodology, we talk about SAP methodology along with implementation projects, right? So first we see what is project preparation. We need to follow SAP methodology for implementation projects. Okay. So better we can discuss about ASAP methodology here itself so that you can understand the implementation projects and also ASAP methodology very well. So as I said, it will have 5 steps, correct? So first one is project preparation.
What is the abbreviation of ASAP?
It is accelerated SAP. You want me to write?
Okay.
Accelerated SAP. Okay. It involves 5 steps actually. First one is project preparation. Second one is business blueprint. Third one is realization. Fourth one is final preparation. And go live and support. So, do you have disturbance from my end? Voice disturbance?
No.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So these are the 5 steps we will be talking about as part of ASAP methodology. When you go for an implementation, fresh implementation, this is the methodology SAP has proposed and SAP has recommended for SAP implementation projects. So what do you do in project preparation? You prepare for implementing project. So what kind of preparation activities you are going to do here? Let's say timelines. Timelines. Timeline means when to start and when to end. So for project preparation, you will have a timeline. For preparing business blueprint, you will have a timeline. For implementation, I mean realization, that means configuration, you will have a timeline. Final preparation, timeline. Go live and support, timeline. Okay. Now let's say when we talk about timelines, let's decide duration of each phase here. So you wanted to implement SAP for, let's say, XYZ and Co. Now, when XYZ and Co approaches an implementation partner, let's say suppose TCS. So TCS will go for bidding to acquire this implementation rights to win this project. Let's say TCS own this project for implementing SAP for XYZ and Co. Now, they give timelines. They discuss with client and they give timelines for this implementation project. So they say that, okay, let's say today is discussion end date. You have finalized all your timelines. You're supposed to start project on. The project preparation is from May 2021 to June 31st, 2021. So this is the timeline for project preparation. So then for business blueprint, you take like 01, 07, 2021. This in this format 0105 21. To 31st June. That means 6th month. First 06 is first phase. That means first project preparation phase. Let's say 4 months because it takes long time. 4 months business blueprint. If it is that, then it goes like July, August, September, October, November. Let's take 5 months. Then it will be like 31st, 30th November 2020. This is where your business blueprint ends. Then implementation, that is realization, configuration. It starts from 01/12/2021 to, so it takes around 6 months. June, okay. 31st 05 2022. This is timeline for realization. Final preparation, it is, let's say it is 1 month. I'll go with 01/06 2022 to 31st 06 2022. And go live and support. Go live is a date actually when you move changes to production, but you will have support. Let's say after final preparation on 31st July, you go for go live on 31st June, your final preparation end date, and 5th July will be your go live date. That means 5th 07/2022. So this is your go live date, but from this date to 3 months. That means July, August, September. Let's say 31st 10 2022. Until then, you will be supporting on the issues. When you go live with a project, you should give a warranty for your project, because you have implemented it and you will be supporting for 3 months for the issues whatever raised in this project. That is what your warranty or support. Go live support. So go live support is free of cost. You don't charge anything for this go live support. Okay. So that is what these are the timelines. Let's now think that you are in project preparation stage. Okay. What you are going to do here? As I said, timelines are decided here. Yes, timelines are already decided. So I'll write timelines are completed. Yes, project phases are decided. From where to execute, from where to deliver. Where to deliver means, so XYZ Unco is based out of US. Let's say it is a US client. Is it possible to deliver it from India entirely? No. So you will decide 75% of resources, 75% of resources from offshore. Okay. And remaining 25% on site. So 25% on site. That means 25% of employees will get on site opportunity. So earlier we used to have these kind of agreements with client. So when you send a resource to on site, they used to take care of everything. So accommodation, expenses, okay, all the facilities will be provided. That is client's responsibility. So at any point of time, 25, I mean, you should not send more than 25% of resources to your client's place. So this is what the agreement we have with our client now. So I just noted it down here. So that means it will not be possible to deliver project completely from offshore, because people will have to go there and sit with business team to understand the requirements and understand their way of doing business. Then only we can achieve the success in projects. Okay, it is not like, okay, due to cost cutting I can deliver it from offshore itself. Now on-site opportunities, that means on-site representation is required. So that is how, I mean, we handle projects. So the same will be, put on papers in black and white before starting the project. Okay. Yeah. Then requirement gathering. Requirement gathering is a technique. I mean, it is a concept or an approach where you study clients' business processes. I mean, in and out. So what you do here, you study, you understand the client's business now, how it is happening. That is called as is study.
Oh, small doubt.
Yes.
Requirement gathering will be there in BBP, right? Business blueprint phase, no? As is and to be documents will be.
Yeah, correct. So sorry, I missed it. I'm going in SDLC flow actually. That's correct.
Yeah.
So we have to, okay, talk about this project preparation again. So this project preparation, you decide teams. You decide teams and resources. Key resources to handle the project.
And,
That means how many leads are required, which module leads, how many resources for each module. You break up the workforce here. So these are the main things you do in project preparation.